Hey, Kath. How you doing? Is that Robert there? Can't really see. Hi, Ray Ray. What's up? How are you today? Good to see everybody. Yeah? You having a good, what's today, Monday? Yeah. Can't really keep up anymore. It's just the day, you know. And the days go by and the water holds me up. Right? That part. Hey, Simone. Hey, Marcia. Same as it ever was. Hey, Terry. Are you here with us for real? Hey, Mom Judy, if you're there with Terry. Yes. It's a good day. I'm tired today. Like for real. But good. I'm good. We had a really good weekend. So Marin and I had this roommate in college, Chris. We all lived together with our friend Kathy, and he has moved to Santa Monica, he and his wife, his lovely wife. So we go and visit, and she's a chef on top of everything else. So it's, you know, and they're like 4 blocks from the beach. So it's super cool. Anyway, yes, but I'm tired. Like I did all the driving and, you know, I had to play for church yesterday in LA, which was so much fun. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Hope you're well. The weekends are always so fast. It's crazy. I mean, what's really funny is that my whole life, my weekends were Monday and Tuesday. Nobody wants to play on Monday and Tuesday. It's like you work all weekend and then, you know, regular people go to work. Okay, but as long as you're there, good tired, absolutely. Like good trouble. Quality trouble. Yes, you're tired the next day, but, you know, definitely not mad. Y'all ready to sing? So today is Barbara Streisand's 80th birthday. Man, listen. Seriously. Hey, Maria. So Robert, she was like, I want to try those things, you know, the things that come out of the ceiling. She's talking about the silks. And I was like, this little girl, she is such a natural athlete. Seriously. I mean, it's like, I watch her studying and she's like, I can do that. And you know, then she takes it right to the next part. I can do that better than that boy over there. So, yeah, she was killing it at the beach. It was crazy. Because once she, I mean, she's not big enough to get on the rings, but once she's up there, she's amazing. It's crazy. I mean, watching her go up that rope all those times, and this time she couldn't do it as much because she actually got blisters. So, yeah, she's really confident, really unafraid. So, yeah, I want to figure out how to send her to trapeze school for a week or so. Hi, Eric. How you doing? How's it going? Good to see you. All right, y'all ready to sing? Everybody ready to sing? Hey, Lisa with girl. Lisa, I need you. Yes. I should give you a call for sure. Y'all ready? I know, Kathy, and I'm seriously thinking. So there's one in Santa Monica. The guy that we were there with the last time with the rings, he was like, yeah, there's a school. And I went over and looked at the school on the weekend, and it's a trapeze. And Frankie was like, yeah, I want to do that. So we'll see what the summer holds. Listen, I know, because she already said she wants to do the silks. Hey, Karen, what's up? Girl, I miss you. Yes, you're awfully quiet these days. You're not in Facebook jail again, right? No. I mean, I guess if you were, I couldn't see you, right? Hey, Hannah, how you doing? I promised that I never would leave you. It's funny how the seasons hate my teeth. The more that I try to forget you. It's funny how things stay the same without a rhyme or reason. When I look into your eyes, I know that I found forever. No hiding, no disguises. Reunion of souls, of mind, of space. Over time, every place. I look and I see your face. Everywhere, constant. Reminder of everything I want. I can be free. Hey, Michelle, I can be free. I was hoping you would be here. In a place before now, reunion, a time before here. Hey, Mom Judy, we were called to this place. Hey, Miss Eleanor, I'm glad to be standing here. Sometimes the truth's painful. Hey, Rachel, leap of faith is all it takes. Close your eyes, don't get discouraged. Spread your wings and just let the winds of change blow free. Just believe they can hold you if you dare to close your eyes and be so free. Welcome, everybody. So good to see you. Yeah, so I hope Kim will be here too, because back in high school, you know, it was my dream to sing with Barbara Streisand, and then, you know, I was in biology, so, but when I got to Howard, and I was getting my master's, I was out in the hallway one day, and one of my friends, Eric Poole, came up to me, and he was like, hey, listen, you didn't hear it from me, but they're looking for women to sing with Barbara Streisand, and I was like, seriously? And he was like, yeah, but you didn't hear it from me, because they didn't tell anybody in the jazz department, right? So, you know, I called my girls. At the time I had an all-girl band, and I was like, listen, y'all, we got this audition tonight. And the guy's name was, it was not Norman Lear, but it was Norman something, and he was head of the symphony at the time at the Kennedy Center. And of course, these chicks were late, and I was like, so I'm standing there talking to him, and I'm like, no, they're on their way, really, seriously. So I did too, Hannah, seriously. So, you know, they finally showed up, and we did the audition or whatever, and he was like, well, you know, I'll let you know by Friday. Well, no, he said by Wednesday, because rehearsal started Friday. But anyway, so Norman Granz. So, you know, we did the audition, and then, because I told him, I said, well, you know, we sing together all the time, and of course you want, like, a trio of people, so, anyway. So, you know, Wednesday came and went, and then Friday I was packing to go back to New York. I was living in D.C. at the time. I mean, I was living in New York at the time, and I went back to D.C. to do my orals. That was the only reason I was even in the hallway that day, so it was crazy, like, just so many things that happened. Anyway, I went back inside to get something, and the phone rang, and he was like, hey, listen, I need you. And I was like, do you need all this? He's like, no, I just need you. And I was like, well, okay. And he's like, okay, well, rehearsal tonight. And I was like, shit. So, you know, I go to rehearsal thinking, you know, we're just going to be there learning the music by ourselves. And so, of course, you know, the symphony's there, the orchestra's there. And then homegirl just walks in, right? And I'm like, and I remember I was so dumbfounded. And she was like, do you know who I am? I was like, bitch, of course I know who you are. I mean, seriously. I was like, are you kidding? Like, really? And I couldn't, I was like, listen, I know all of your songs. You know, and at that point, I mean, she was writing these amazing songs, not as many covers. And as it turned out, she was like super, super shy and stage fright. And I was like, but anyway, so, I mean, I was just, you know, like, she was like right here. And I'm like, so we watched the whole rehearsal, and, you know, she, like, so the first thing she said, right, we're just standing there. And, you know, the orchestra doesn't even come in, right? And, you know, Norman is holding. And she just comes in and she's like, some enchanted evening. And then the orchestra came in, and it was like, it was almost like they forgot to come in, because it was, I've never heard that sound out of a human being ever in life. It just, I mean, it was astonishing. I don't know that one, Eric. I wish I did. Yeah, somebody was talking about Funny Girl earlier. I don't know that one. But yeah, wow. I mean, I was just sitting there, and I had just switched over to doing music, it hadn't been that long. And I was like, yeah, if you're going to do it, you need to do it at that level, right? Because there's no point in doing it otherwise. Because the work ethic, the talent was definitely there, but then there's also the work ethic. And she was also very kind. Like, I've heard that she's not always easy to work with, but it was a really great, experience. So yeah. All right. Anyway, so here, away we go. Let's see. Hey, Scotty. Karen, you're hilarious. It's a lazy afternoon. Okay, I'm sorry. I just totally got distracted. I was laughing. I was like, okay, that's hilarious. And then, hi, Yvette. Anyway, so what I was thinking is that I love her version of the song, but I didn't hear it until after Patty Austin's version, which is, for me, the consummate version. And I just so love this song. It was one of the trademarks of my band back in the day, Hugh. Yes. It's a lazy afternoon, and the beetle bugs are zooming, and the tulip trees are blooming, and there's not another human in view except us two. It's a lazy afternoon, and the farmer leaves his reaping in the meadow. Cows are sleeping, and the speckled trout stop leaping upstream as we dream. A fat pink cloud hangs over the hills, unfolding like a rose. If you hold my hand and sit real still, you can hear the grass as you rolls. It's a lazy afternoon, and I know a place that's quiet, except for daisies running right, and there's no one passing by it to see. Come spend this lazy afternoon with me. Come spend this lazy afternoon with me. Yeah, so hi, Dana O'Banion. How are you doing? Dana is my Jubilee singer brother. I just, I didn't see Christopher. I saw him on FaceTime over the weekend because I was playing for his church. It's good to see you. What was I saying? So, yeah, it's from a really obscure play called The Golden Apple that I don't know the play, but the song is incredible. And, you know, so at the time, oh, Monty, it's so good to see. It's always so good to see you. I miss you. You know, we must see each other now that, you know, things are, well, hopefully things are winding down. It's kind of gearing up on the East Coast a little bit again, but whatever. I'd love to see you and your family. Yes. Okay. So Maria, everything must change. I actually had to sing this at church this weekend. So I'm yeah, a little bit up on this one. Let's see. I don't remember. Let's see. Did I see? Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. Nothing and no one stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries to unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except the rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal. Never much too soon, 'cause everything must change. Oh, the young become the old, and mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except the rain comes from the sky, sun lights up the sky clouds, hummingbirds do fly. The rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds fly. Rain comes from the clouds, the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. And everything must change. Yeah, such a good one. And so she sang this one that night too. So I got to sing Evergreen with her, which, I mean, you know, really, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, it was quite a moment. But she also sang this one, and at the time I had not heard this one. It's a Sondheim from Into the Woods, and it became one of my favorite songs. I mean, she did, like I said, she did some Enchanted Evening as well, which was just simply gorgeous. But this one, so pretty and so true, right? How do you say to your child in the night, nothing is all black and then nothing's all white? How do you say it will all be all right when you know that it mightn't be true? What do you do? Careful the things you say, children will listen. Careful the things you do, children will see and learn from them. Children may not obey, but children will listen. Children will look to you for which way to turn, to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Children will listen. Careful the wish you make. Wishes are children. Careful the path they take. Wishes come true, not free. Careful the spell you cast, not just on children. Sometimes the spell may last past what you see and turn against you. Careful the tale you tell, that is the spell. Children will listen. Children will listen. How can you say to a child who's in flight, don't slip away and I won't hold on tight? What can you say that no matter how slight won't be misunderstood? What do you leave to your child when you're dead? Only whatever you put in her head. Things that your mother and father have said, which were left to them too. Careful what you say, children will listen. Careful you do it too, children will see and learn. Guide them but step away, and children will glisten. Temper with what is true, and children will turn just to be free. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Children will listen. Children will listen. Yeah, I mean, oh, and by the way, thank you, Miss Eleanor, for telling me that it was her birthday and just reminding me, because I certainly had forgotten. But this is perfect for today. It's sort of just what I need, and hopefully it's what y'all need, right? I mean, this music is so beautiful. I mean, I think her choices, as far as the work and the work ethic and the songs, but also the acting and all of the stuff, the directing, everything that she did, it's just amazing. And I think just the amount of control, right. Who doesn't need Babs all the time, right? But just such a, chat. Love rushes the morning air. One love that is shared by two. I have found with you, like a rose under the April snow. I was always certain love would grow. Love, ageless and evergreen, seldom seen by two. You and I will make each night a first, every day a beginning. Spirits rise and their dance is unrehearsed. They warm and excite us, 'cause we've got the brightest love. Two lights that shine as one, morning glory and the midnight sun. Time we've learned to sail above. Time won't change the meaning of one love, ageless and yeah, and okay, that was magic. I was telling one of my friends yesterday. It was such a magical night because so many things happened. Like I was on the way to it was at the Cap Center. It was out in Maryland, and the traffic was hellacious, and I was afraid that I was not gonna make it. And so apparently the person in the limo in front of me thought that too, and he got out on the sideway. I'm on the side of the road. I mean, like he was in the middle of he wasn't on the shoulder, he was in the middle of the street. I mean, the highway. And he's wearing this, beautiful, like pale pink trench coat, and it's blowing in the wind, and, the sun is setting, and it's just Jack Nicholson, right? Because, okay, so then, once I got there and we did the whole, we went through the whole thing. So, the backup singers, we were just kind of like on the outskirts, and somehow I got left by myself. And I was leaning up against a wall, and Thelonious Monk Jr. walks up and strikes up a conversation, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is really great. And his opening line was, oh, so I heard you were a piano player. And I was like, how did you? Because I was really just singing backup. Like I wasn't playing piano. I was minding my own business. And so he was like, well, if you're a piano player, then you need to meet Herbie. He's like, I'll be right back. And I was like, so he walks back over with Herbie Hancock, right? True story. And I'm having this whole conversation with the two of them about life and jazz and music and art. And, it wasn't one of those, hey girl, it wasn't that. It was just like this real, and of course then, when Marsalis comes up and anyway, so, but then Thelonious is like, well, hey, you should come hang out with us in the dressing room. And I was like, yeah, but just say yes to stuff and stuff happens, right? This has always been my motto. So, we go in the dressing room, which is this huge, underneath, it's like it's the catacombs underneath, right? So they have it set up so everybody's like out in the same space. And so as we are walking in, Michael Jackson and his entourage walks by. Now, mind you, I had 12 exposures in my camera, which I sort of forgot, was even there. So Little Richard was there. Chuck Berry was there. The Fonz was there. Edward Olmos, Judith Jameson, like Melanie and, oh God, who's Don Johnson? Yes, because they were married at the time. I mean, Cosby was everybody who was everybody was there. So I like just disappeared because I don't even know what the other background singers were doing. I don't know where they went, but I was like down this magical rabbit hole of, musicians and people. And so it was already a crazy night, right? And, my mother had been on me about, well, what are you doing with your life? Like, when are you going to get a real job? And when are you going to, when are you going to get married and have kids and benefits? And, that, which, I think is really hard to explain to people who are not artists. It's like, okay, that may never happen. Like, I may never be famous. I may never have, $1 million or two. It's just, I didn't even say anything. I just took the pictures and sent them home. Not a word. We talked every day, 2-3 times a day, just to kind of, catch up and see. I sent those pictures home. She was like, I was like, well, that's what happens when you trust God and the universe, you just roll. And, so, yeah, I mean, it was such a moment. Robert Wright, like, what is she even talking about? 12 exposure. Yo, back in the day, and then I had to take it to get it. I had to take it and get it developed. I think I went to Costco, and then I'm like, okay, well, how much does it cost to get the duplicates so that I could send those and then have a set for myself and then have a set that I put away somewhere? Yeah, so I was very selective. I was like, photo worthy? I got 12 exposures. I'm not sure. Grover Washington was, it was just getting to talk to Grover Washington and Herbie. Okay, talking to Herbie Hancock was like the most. Yes, you know what? I do. Okay, Yvette, so now I have all of those photos. I have everything here now, right? So it's in boxes. I just have to find it. Yes. So that year was really magical because right after that, I had a mad crush on him. I took a picture with him. I was like, sir, come. You are definitely worthy. Yeah, so, and that was it was just a magical time because, so I think that was like, whenever inauguration is, because it was the Clinton inauguration. So I think it was like January, and then I was supposed to pledge. My mom wanted me to pledge Delta. And I was like, okay, I finally was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I was studying with Jerry Allen and Grady Tate. And at the end of my, getting my master's, Jerry was like, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know anything. She's like, listen, if you come with me on the road and take care of my daughter, then you can have lessons and you can live at my house in Jersey. And so when I'm on the road, then you can. I was like, what? And she was like, and I'll pay you. Right. And I said, we leave when? And of course it was the same week as I was supposed to be, pledging. And I called my mom and I was like, girl, I'm about to be on the road for 6 weeks, right? And, so I was out on the road with Jerry Allen, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was crazy. Listen, it was crazy too, but it was fantastic. Like, I was around. So we went for the summer festivals in Europe, right? And so when you're on the trains in Europe on the festival, hey, John Gibson, when you're on these trains, everybody's on the trains, right? So it's like jazz royalty is like standing out in the hallway, like Mal Waldron and Steve. What's Steve's last name? But anyway, all the cats are there. Everybody's in Europe, right? Yeah, Jerry Allen she's my teacher, right? I was supposed to get Shirley Horn. This is how crazy this whole thing is. I was supposed to get Shirley Horn. And then that summer before I was supposed to study with her, she blew up, you know, in her 60s, you know, girlfriend just blows up and goes out on the road and everything. And I was like, wah, wah. And they were like, but we're going to bring Jerry Allen. At the time, I didn't even know who Jerry Allen was. And then I was like, holy shit, this woman is incredible. So yes, but so we were out for 6 weeks that time. And, you know, we were in mostly Italy and, you know, Switzerland, Germany. We went to Denmark, and it was amazing, right? It was amazing. And just meeting people and seeing them play, like, you know, I love McCoy Tyner. I was a huge McCoy Tyner fan. I got to meet him and hear him play. And because, like, Steve Lacy, thank you very much. Yes, there's a picture of me in the hallway with Steve Lacy, Mal Waldron, Graham Haynes, Dwayne Dolphin, me, the baby, and we're just chilling out. And I'm like, wow, this is magic. And that whole summer was just like that, you know. And then the following summer, we did. She was Jerry was Betty Carter's pianist, and it was Jack DeJohnette on drums. And oh God, I can see his face on bass. He's British. Oh God, it just went right out of my head. Anyway, incredible. Yeah, so instead of, like, you know, okay, so Grady was around that same time. I met Grady. Grady, actually, they brought Grady and Jerry in instead of Shirley Horn. And so, yeah, I started studying with both of them. Really Grady for voice, and then Jerry for piano. And I mean, I probably should have gotten more out of the piano thing from Jerry than I did, but I just, you know, I mean, Jerry was a totally different, I mean, she's such an incredible player, you know, and just almost an athlete on the keys. Yeah, but Tracy Stewart, what's up, girl? Of course you're here when I'm talking about Howard and, you know, Grady Tate and Jerry Allen and just being there. And what a time, right? What a time to be alive. And yeah, it was fantastic. It was. It really, really was. It was great. It was great. It was a great time. Like, I feel like, so, you know, Grady Tate was this incredible drummer, but I know, right, girl? But they called him the baby Sarah Vaughan, because the quality of his voice is just astonishing, right? I mean, it's so beautiful, and his timing and all of that. And, you know, I had heard him sing, oh God, what was that song? There's a song called, where do you start? How do you separate the good times from the bad? How do you leave beyond the things you never had? So when he came, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go learn one of his songs and roll that out on him. And he was like, wow, never would have expected that. He's great, you know, kind of like my dad's age, just always super cool, you know, and so much knowledge and timing. Like, the timing of drummers that sing it's a whole different animal. And so he taught me just how to sit my voice in the music, and you know, just how to lay back just a little bit, because I was always like, you know, in your face, just forward and moving quickly. But he's like, no, you got to lay back. And Jerry said the same thing, you know. And it's just jazz is just a different animal. Hey, Julie, how you doing, girl? So yeah, but those were really, everything felt magical, you know, around that time. As I was telling you guys the other day, I did a man called Hawk, met one of my best friends there, and just, you know, Howard was magical. I mean, people would come through, you know, Felicia Rashad was there, Debbie Allen came through, and yeah, lay back. Exactly, Karen. Exactly. I was like, really? So yeah, I learned a lot and traveled a lot. Being in Europe for the festival season was really incredible. And I'm not sure, like, you know, I look back on that now, I was like, wow, it was really magical. So I did. That's when I met you guys, Yvette. Like, I was teaching, I was doing children's theater, which is why I actually moved back from New York. And they had offered me this job and they were paying me all this money. And then I moved and got my place. You know, I was living at Quentin's then, in his basement. And then the job fell through. They were like, we only have half the money. And I was like, I just got this apartment. And of course, Quentin's girlfriend at the time was like, you got to go. And Quentin was like, go, no, she can stay. Come on. Anyway, and then I moved over to the Hiltons. And, you know, Shauna and I moved, and then Shauna joined the band instead. And, you know, the rest is history. So, yeah, it was definitely Howard was great for me. I had a really great time. Learned a lot, met a lot of folks like Tracy Stewart. Tracy's this amazing trumpeter and human being. Christopher Smith. You know what? Really, it has been, yeah, it's been interesting for sure, right? And as I was talking about, you know, Shirley Horn, I mean, Shirley Horn was around, you know, she was around back in the day, and then she got married and had a family. And so she didn't, I know you're laughing. She had oh, Tracy, you're amazing. In fact, Tracy, you need to come out here and play on the show. Seriously. Yeah, just amazing. I mean, I feel so fortunate. And yeah, Riley's, she wants to go to Howard. She wants to go to Howard. And y'all know me, I'm about to figure out how to make it happen. No, actually, no, neither. So, okay, so here we go. It's a great story too. So Shauna joined the band, and then the band broke up, right? But Shauna had these friends, because I needed a place to live. I was like, girl, I need a place to live. And she's like, well, you know, my friends, the Hiltons, have this. They had a basement, and they had 2 apartments in the basement. The Hiltons had bought this beautiful, beautiful row house down by Daddy Grace's, right? And, okay, for those of you who don't know Daddy Grace, okay, yes, there's a church there, but also they had a restaurant in there at the church where they would serve food, you know, like 7 days a week. And it was these, you know, incredible black ladies with, you know, yeah. Yeah, Yvette, I will. Oh my God, I totally will. So, yeah, so we would go over there and just eat, right? I mean, when I tell y'all, it's like after church food, it was it was so good. Anyway, so we lived in that next block. And I think the Hiltons bought the house for some crazy amount, like $32,000. So we lived there for a while, and then DC put in the new convention center, right? So it was about 4 blocks away from where we were. And when I tell you, when that property went up in DC, I mean, they probably sold that place for $2 million, $3 million. And so the Hiltons moved to Jamaica, and now they have a bed and breakfast in Jamaica, which, you know, I definitely want to go live at. But yeah, and I had a dog. That was just a fun time. They still serve. Man, listen, that food was the bomb. It's like soul food for real, like my mother made or my grandmother, like that kind of soul food, just amazingly good. So yeah, good times. It was so good. You know, Yvette, man, you know, you remember all those old spots that we used to play all the time. Like we were always the Skate Cafe and that Thai restaurant, Royal Thai down. Yeah. And Fleetwood's, okay. This is the last story I'm going to tell, and then I'm going to start playing music again. Mick Fleetwood, who is one of the nicest people and one of the baddest drummers on the planet, right, had a club. And when I was in New York, my friend Bill Tolles, we were always into shenanigans, but I met a guy there, and he was like, hey, I'm opening this new club for Mick Fleetwood in DC. And I was like, oh, I'm moving back to DC. Anyway, long story short, he designed the sound system, and it was really, really incredible. So he was running that. And we played there like Sundays for years. And that's where I got to play with the 5 Blind Boys of Alabama, right? So we opened for them in Mick Fleetwood's club. And Mick would come in and play drums. Like, you know, he's like, it's my club. I can come in and play whatever I want. And he was just such a kind soul. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Yvette, yes, you know what? I need you to help me. Okay. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to need a ton of help. Like, Riley's GPA is great. You know, her dad and I are both alumni, so hopefully. I know you came to brunch at Fleetwood's. Fleetwood's used to be the jam. Like, we were all... So, y'all, it was out on the water, like, right on the Chesapeake and the windows, and you could see... And then in the middle was the stage and this, this huge drum throne, and his drums were always set up. And he's super tall. Mick Fleetwood is 6'5", 6'7". I mean, he's really tall. But he would be killing it, like playing and singing. I'm like, good grief. So, good times. But, right? Memories, like the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures. This wasn't even on my list. It's perfect. Oh, the smiles we left behind. Smiles we gave to one another. For the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember. Whenever we remember the way we were. The way we were. Oh my God, Marcia. So, hey, Keith Davis, how you doing? So, Marcia, here we go. Again. So, my brother did something really, really crazy, and I was really mad at him. And at the time, I had flight benefits, and so I called my cousin in Maui, and I was like, listen, that offer you made about me coming to stay at the compound, and she was like, oh, anytime you want to come, like, when are you thinking? We'll get the cleaners in, and we just need, and I was like, girl, I need to come the day after tomorrow. I mean, it was Christmas Eve when I called her, and she was like, oh, that's soon? I was like, yeah. She said, well, I don't know if we have time to, I said, I don't need to clean, I'll clean it myself. She said, well, there might be spiders. I said, I'm not afraid of spiders, I'm fine. So I was up like in the hills in this beautiful cottage by myself for a week because, okay, I was so broke then, and I had gone grocery shopping at Trader Joe's. I packed my frozen stuff in my suitcase and some shorts and some tank tops and some sarongs, and I went to Maui. And when I got there, the woman was like, well, you know that you could just upgrade to first class. She's like, I can upgrade you to first class. And she showed me how to. So my plan was to go watch the dolphins and the whales, right? And somehow when I looked at the GPS the night before, I didn't realize there would be traffic in the morning. So I left my house at like 4:30 because I wanted to get there early. So I get there, I had just missed it. And I was like, dang, it's only like 6 o'clock. Nothing's really open. So I drove up the side of the island, and then I walked for about 5 miles, and then, went and got my car, and then I drove back into town. And the first thing I did was I stopped at a dive shop. And I was talking to this dude, and he was like, okay, you got to do this. You got to go see the sea turtles. You got to do this. Cool. And I was like, fine. And so I walk up the street, and I'm like, I wonder where this tree is. They have the largest banyan tree in North America. And I was standing underneath it because it takes up a whole city block in the middle, in Lahaina. And I was like, of course I'm standing here. And then I saw the sandal maker shop, which I'm sure you saw that too. And I was like, sandal maker. So of course I wandered into the sandal maker shop, and he looks like he's talking to the tourist, and he looks up and he was like, I saw you when you walked in. You're like, and so we had this whole conversation about world peace and sandal making and the design for the sandals, and that you can run in them, and each one is designed differently, and they're designed after the gladiator sandals, and they go through all of that. So I come out and I'm walking, and then I see Mick Fleetwood's restaurant. I was like, oh, he has a restaurant here. And so I actually went in. He wasn't in that day, but I did go in and talk to the booking agent there, because I was planning to do that. And then of course, this pandemic. But I also went to the Wyland Gallery across the street, and the guy that was there had been his curator for years. And he was like, oh, we're having this party. You should come. It's tomorrow night. And, you can meet him. And I was like, what? And so we had, again, a whole conversation about, the art. And of course, that night was when I went to the beach and had that whole, Scooby-Doo Criminal Minds episode thing. So I was like, sir, I will not be coming out after dark. No, I'm not doing that. But anyway, yeah, I did go there, and it was fabulous. Like, I love Maui. I love Kauai. I love the Big Island. I love it. But I think Maui, and where I was up in the hills. So just like maybe a mile away were the lavender gardens, and they have all these varieties of lavender. Y'all, want to tell you? And where I was, like, I never really thought of, being up in the hills, but I was up in the hills. So I could see the ocean from, like, my girl. So the guy at the dive shop was like, you got to see the turtles turning in the surf. And I was like, I've got to see that. So I got in the car, I GPS'd it. GPS sometimes is the fastest, but maybe not the safest. So I'm driving, and there's like a car in front of me, and I'm driving, and I'm in a row of sugar canes, right? Which seems to be getting narrower and narrower. And I look over here, and there's the old hospital, right? Old school, high school. And it's a ruin. Like, it looks like Scooby-Doo. Like they go to the mysteries and right, or Criminal Minds, right? And as I'm driving, I hear my mother's voice in my head going, you know what happens to people that go down dirt roads by themselves? And I'm like, why are we doing this? And it's starting to get dark. So of course I'm like in this thing. And then all of a sudden the guy in front of me turns around really fast, and he comes back, and I'm like, oh my God, what if he follows me? And I see nothing but sugarcane. And I'm like, dear God, please don't let this GPS die, right? Because it's getting dark. And I think part of it was because the sugarcane was there, but also I went in December. I was in a horror movie. Yes, girl, I was. That was me. And so I just kept driving, and I was like, okay, it's got to be just a little bit further. And I don't know what else and then all of a sudden, it's like I made like just a slight, and then all of a sudden the sun was there, because it sort of started raining too. And so I got there, and, I had like all of 5 minutes to look at the turtles until I realized, the GPS was trying to take me back the other way, that same way through the sugarcane. And I was like, no, not through the dirt roads. And I was like this the whole time on the, I did not see Magnum. I certainly would have gone looking for him. No. But I had to take the long way around, which it took me a long time. And then I was like, well, what if they're night marchers? Like, what's happening? And I'm telling you, like, up in the hills, it's very quiet. There's not a lot of lights. And then the fog came rolling in, and I was like, anyway, but I'm here to tell the tale. And it was fantastic to see these, turtles, just like, they're huge, and they roll in the surf, and it's spectacular. If you get a chance to go to Maui, it's spectacular. It really is. I had such a great time. And I wasn't on anybody's schedule or anything. There's like a tunnel of trees. I'm driving through this tunnel of trees, and, the radio's on, and it's Madonna, life is a mystery. And it was just, I was like, wow. It's a tunnel of trees. So, yeah, it was fantastic. If I had seen, okay, I might not have come home, seriously, Yvette. But no, it was a magical, mystical trip. And when I came back, I did get in a while. Oh, listen, yes. No, okay, but here's the thing. Like before, no, I wrote Merman years ago, you know. So my ex, Gary, we used to travel all the time. And I would go snorkeling and do stuff. And he would sit in the boat, you know, and we'd be on the beach and he would be on the beach. And when we went to Atlantis, there was a shark attack. This doctor from Brooklyn lost his leg. And then I went to the Big Island for the first time and there was a shark attack and this young woman lost her arm. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I will swim in the lagoons from now on. I no longer swim in the ocean like that. I don't. But you know, the sand and you know, the whole nine. I mean, I love the water, even the cold, you know, even when it's cold. Like I'm not swimming in cold water, but I do love it. But yeah, after those 2 shark attacks, I thought, you know, that's their natural habitat. That's where they live. And I'm just not doing that. So, bye, Tracy. I love you. Girl, listen. Yes. Oh, what year was that? Okay, so I was in New York. It was somewhere between 2000 and 2005. And I would say probably like 2003-ish. Yeah, no, I'm sort of landbound now. I'm like, oh, okay, so I wanted to do this one because I love it. Let me see. And I hope Miss Barbara Streisand, wherever she is having a fantastic birthday. Yes, okay. Let's see. I haven't done this one. There's no chill and yet I shiver. There's no flame and yet I burn. I'm not sure what I'm afraid of, and yet I'm trembling. There's no storm, yet I hear thunder. Am I breathless? Why, I wonder. Weak one moment, then the next I'm fine. I feel as if I'm falling every time I close my eyes, and flowing through my body is a river of surprise. Feelings are awakening I hardly recognize as mine. What are all these strange sensations? What's the secret they reveal? I'm not sure I understand it, but I love the way I feel. Why is it that every time I close my eyes, he's there? The water shining on his skin, the sunlight in his hair, and all the while I'm thinking things that I can never share with him. I'm a bundle of confusion, and yet it has a strange appeal. Okay, so I'll do the rest of the list tomorrow. Sorry. You had to just listen to songs all day. I mean, stories all day. I don't get to talk about it much because, you know, the kids, like Robert said, they don't know what a camera is. They're like, 12 exposures. What the hell is that? Right? Barbra Streisand. Who's that? I mean, at least they know Freddie Mercury, right? So I'm working on them. All right, y'all, you know what to do. Walk in the light, the beautiful light, shining your light on your neighbor, traveling light. Right. At 80, she gets a week. Listen. Yeah, because, you know, there's so many that I want to do, right? Look, Michelle. Look who's advertising. It's everywhere. See hellacious acres. Right. Thank you, Miss Eleanor. Thank you so much. Oh, Michelle, you're that. Okay, so we're all going to send some beautiful healing energy to Michelle tomorrow. I'm so happy it's your last. Girl, I look forward to seeing you soon. The stories are fun. Yes. I mean, I have no one to tell my stories to. You know, the kids are like, oh, TT, shut up. You talk too much. Frankie, where's the Nutella? Yeah, you know. All right, Michelle, if you're not, you know, if you're feeling okay tomorrow, hit me up and, you know, I'll do some special songs for you. Hey, Tonya? Yes, but if not, yes, I love you. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me. You know, cheers. All right, I'll see y'all. Bye.